Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening.
To another edition.
Yes, a special edition, you guys. I'm your host, Jessica.
And I'm your other host, Thomas.
And tonight we have a few guests that are going to be joining us, men and women who are single, to share with us the challenges of being single and just the beauty, because it might be just a wonderful thing to experience for those who are single and get your kind of me time back. So we just want to give a few minutes to help us, to help us bring on the guests, and also they will be joining us. So for right now, go ahead and tag and share.
Oh yes, please. It's going to be an awesome show today. We're going to talk about the challenges of being single. We're going to talk about the struggles of being single, and we're also going to talk about the victory of being single.
Yes,
so there's so much. Yeah. So don't forget to tag and share, guys. Tag and share. Let all your family and friends know that we're on the air.
Hello, sis. Hi, Renee. Love you. I missed you tonight. You know, I could be kind of the class clown. We got those eyes going at each other, and we'll be side chatting.
Y'all crazy.
But I missed you tonight, sis.
Go a little something. Little something. You know how DJ Jazzy Jess does.
That's Blaine. Hello, Blaine. How are you?
Blaine, what's up?
Hey, Apostle Sally, I miss you.
Get you a Blaine. I always say that. Get you a Blaine. I'm looking for a Blaine. I am. I need a Blaine in my life. Man, I need a Blaine in my life.
Oh, yeah. We both do.
Man, I need a Blaine. Did you see what they was doing? You see how he had Sally?
Man. Listen, the replay that I caught today was just amazing. You did your thing Sunday. I loved it. So powerful. And that ILM song, don't get me started.
No, but did you see the video though?
I saw the whole thing.
I'm talking about the video, not them singing. The video that Blaine produced. Blaine produced the video for him. It's crazy. Tag and share. Also, keep in mind, depending on which page you guys are on, it may not let you share, so you may need to go to the other person's page.
Specifically, it won't let you share from the group page. So if you're on, go ahead and go to my page, and then you'll be able to share it from there.
There you go. See?
Did you already share it from your page? So that way.
The favorite colors in my life in this beautiful life. Oh.
Hello.
That's so sweet.
That's so sweet.
I'm telling you, right. Look, gotta get you a Blaine. And I'm telling you, that's just, Blaine is crazy with it. I mean, God has blessed that man and gifted him. And you guys are blessed to have one of those in your life. Trust me when I tell you. Hey, Jessica, God bless you. Thank you for joining us. Tonight's show is going to be absolutely amazing, guys. It is. We're excited because we have a group of people that are going to be sharing with us and jumping on the air. And we've got like a bunch of them. And I mean, we just brought them on, as you guys can see. It's going to be really, really amazing what's going to happen. We have got, I'm just going to go around the corner. So when I call your name, I'm going to ask you guys to, just kind of introduce yourself briefly and tell us where you're from. Let's start with you, Jarrell. How about you, sir?
I'm Jarrell Davis. I am originally from Alabama, but I moved to Georgia in 2008. So I officially reside here in Georgia. And so that's where I'm from. And I'm single. Amen.
What part of Alabama are you from, Jarrell?
Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Oh,
okay. Okay, Roll Tide.
Yeah, Roll Tide, yeah. All the way.
Okay.
So, that's awesome.
Gotcha.
We have family in Madison, Alabama.
Yep.
It's kind of near. I'm sorry.
Is that close to Montgomery? Is that close to Montgomery? Is that in the area of that or
Isn't it an hour?
Birmingham
will be close.
It's close to Birmingham.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I'm not familiar with Madison, but I'm familiar with Birmingham. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we went through Birmingham to eat dinner one time at a place called the Plantation. And let me tell you, I wasn't feeling that. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not getting nowhere called the Plantation.
The cotton.
Yeah, come on,
it's the Plantation.
Come on. And
not nowhere in Alabama named the Plantation.
You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Anything they got Plantation.
It was right downtown near the courthouse too.
It's right across the street from the courthouse.
You see,
so that was even worse.
Don't do that again.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for introducing yourself. Hey, how about you, Markeith? Why don't you introduce yourself for us, sir?
I'm Markeith Davis. I'm originally from Valdosta, Georgia, but I currently reside in Atlanta, Georgia, and I am currently single.
Okay. All right. Now, I need to put that out. Put the emphasis on that, ladies. I'm currently single. So for y'all single ladies watching, he just lets y'all know right out. Ain't no funny games about this. This is what we doing. I love it. And how about you, Miss DeAndrea Bush?
Hi, everybody. My name is DeAndrea Bush, and I currently live in Lawrenceville, Georgia. And yes, I am single as well.
Okay. Quincy, my brother, how you doing today, brother?
Man, I'm good, cuz. So my name is Quincy Workman. I'm originally from Sumter, South Carolina, and I currently reside in El Paso, Texas.
Okay. West Coast. And we got Nicole over there. How about you,
mid.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nicole. I am from Charlotte, North Carolina. I stay in Charlotte, North Carolina. Y'all got exciting stories about where y'all from, where y'all live. I'm just born here where I'm at.
And but no, you went to college outside of Charlotte, right?
That's
like
an hour away. It's nothing special.
Okay, what you're not gonna do is get on here and be a bluesy Susie. Now that's not gonna work.
Everybody all excited like they from here. They done moved away from where they from. I'm still here, still pushing it in Charlotte.
Yeah.
See, I happen to know you're gifted, talented, and do all kinds of stuff. You ain't gonna downplay that. I'm gonna pull on you tonight.
But do you have the desire to move, Nicole, outside of Charlotte?
No.
You want to stay in Charlotte? Oh.
You just broke her heart because she's doing her best to try to get out of here.
God bless her.
Awesome. All right. So hey, we got Jay over there. Hey Jay, why don't you Jay Miles, why don't you introduce yourself, sir?
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. My name is Jordan. It's actually Jordan Miles. I'm actually from originally from Ohio. Cause you know this, you know what I'm saying? I shout out to Candy. But I reside in Conyers, Georgia.
Okay. Awesome.
I hear you. I see you know got the dreads all, you know. Normally you got them up in a little ponytail, but you all right, I see you.
He clean tonight.
You know what I'm saying?
I had to bring him down. Tonight.
Like what did we do tonight? Oh man. Markeith is like, I'm single. DeAndrea like, I'm single too. And Jordan is like,
I don't even have to make a statement.
I don't even make a statement. Just swing the hair with my hair back and forth.
About here.
And finally, we have none other than Jaya. Jaya, why don't you introduce yourself for us?
Jaya, can you hear us?
Can she hear us? Look who wanted to jump on. How about we don't know how to act? Angela.
Oh, sorry.
She was one. Hey, Jay, can you hear us now?
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Can't. She. We'll come back to Jay.
We'll get back to her. Yeah, we'll get back to her. But no, we really wanted to talk with you guys tonight, though. And thanks each and every one of you for jumping on. We know you all have, busy lives. You have a lot of things that you all want to do and aspire to do and things of that nature. We've got a lot of different topics that we want to cover tonight. We're going to talk about getting divorced. We're going to talk about being divorced. We're going to talk about not being married at all. We're going to talk about being a single parent. So there's so many different things that we want to, really go, share with everybody tonight. We want you guys to be real, as transparent as you feel you can be about, where you are, your situation, and how things are going for you as it pertains to certain things. But Jarrell, I really want to start with you, and I know, we are a little pressed with time, and we want to kind of get things going. But tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us, as it pertains to you. Obviously, you're on this show, so you must be single. So just talk to us a little bit about that and what that looks like and how Jarrell Davis became a single individual.
Well, now I had a feeling you were gonna call me first, and I just had a feeling, but so I was married before. A few years ago. A few years ago, I was married, and then I ended up getting a divorce. So now it's me and my ex and my baby. We do have a baby, so I'm a dad too. Things happen. That wasn't we didn't see eye to eye. We didn't I don't want to share too much, but I'm going to share enough. But now on the divorce side, co-parenting come to play. Co-parenting, I got to learn how to co-parent, learn how to be friends again. It's just learning how to do things now, because I'm single now, but I'm learning now how to be single or have that single mindset because I was married. So it's hard to jump from being married to just jump from being single. And so for me being single now, I have to find my way back on how to date again because I was married. Now I'm just single, And so finding the dating mode is hard because now I have to sit here and watch, observe a female, observe and see how they are. And then they have to see how I am, because I was wounded and, vice versa. I don't know, but I was wounded. So now I have to deal with all of that emotions and not to do what I did in the first marriage, in the marriage, not to do what I did. So I'm learning all of these things. I'm learning now how to be single again and have to separate that lifestyle now to being single. And then not only that, being a dad at the same time. So I have to build a relationship, so it's a balance, and even in the church world, it's just things that I have to deal with. But through all of this, I've learned how to cope with it now because I had to set aside if I start dating, I'm not dating my daughter. I'm not dad. I'm dating for me. Okay. Right. I'm dating for me. I'm not dad. So these titles that I carry, I'm not Minister Davis. I'm not Prophet. I'm not him. I'm Jarrell. I'm Jarrell.
Yeah.
I'm trying to date you and not preach to you. I'm not trying to prophesy to you. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find love. I'm trying to find that. Can you really do that
though, Jarrell? Can you really do that though, Jarrell?
Yeah. That's
Can you really do that though? You say the table be like, look, the shrimp looks so good. We're gonna do something with this shrimp. God be the glory.
I had to learn. I'm learning not to prophesy because I can't use my gift to get a female. I can't use that. See, I used to use my gift to do that. I did. I'm being honest. I used to use my gift and said, "Oh, I see the Lord on you." Yeah, you know. Yeah. I see the Lord. The hand of God is on your life, and I'm telling you. But as you mature, as I matured, I know we're live. I'm sorry, but this is unwinding, right?
That's good.
Unwinding, am I right? I'm just unwinding. That's what I'm doing tonight. So, but I'm telling you, this is how I became single. I became single, and so now I have to deal with all of this. I have to deal with because we got so many titles. Even as single people, we have so many titles. We're trying to go to school. We're trying to do this, and we're trying to do that. So there's too many things that we have up here, but we're missing something here. But we have a lot of things up here, but we're missing things in our heart. So what we do is we try to fit in. We try to fit in, or fit in, or either or. We're trying to fit in something that's empty, but we can't do it because we got so much up here. We want this. We want this guy to look like this. We want this female to look like this. But in our minds, we don't look like anything because we got too much going on up here.
Okay. That's good. That's good. I want to go over here to Quincy real quick, Jarrell. I want you to hold that thought for a moment because what I want to do, because Quincy also is in that divorce mode, and if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, Quincy, you're literally going through a divorce right now as we speak, correct?
Yeah, I'm going through a divorce now, actually. To be open with me, my wife left me about the beginning of November. And so, yeah, that's the mode that I'm in now.
So real quick, could you identify with what Jarrell was talking about? Like when he was saying, I was married, but now I'm having to learn how to transition my mindset to a different place. Now, let me just put this out here real quick, because again, you're still married. Now, okay, let me bring it from my perspective. Let me be transparent. I was married before and divorced, of course, and remarried. So I understand that perspective. Jarrell, what you said, I can so relate to, because even when I started dating her, it was a thing where I would tell her this all the time. There's a certain mindset that you have when you've been with someone for a while that's not the same as a single person. So you don't process. There's a different process that happens there. And so for me, I was, I guess, a little more laid back in areas. So for you, Quincy, going through what you're going through now, and a lot of people on the outside would be like, well, he's technically not single. Well, the reality is you and her aren't together. Yes, you're single. Now, on paper, that might not be the case, but the reality is when you start that process, the only thing that stops the process is you and her coming back together. So from where you stand, what does that look like for you, that transition in your mind?
It's hard, to be honest with you. Like the gentleman was talking before, you have to get in a different mindset. You're so used to being with that one person or being around that person so much. You have to make sure that when you get back out there, you don't go back looking for that same thing. So that you're just going to take a process and take time.
Right.
And be careful with yourself.
Right. Do you find that you are possibly looking at a person and then you kind of pull yourself back like, wait, I can't be looking at them. I'm still married.
I was like that for a while until I found out that my ex had already moved on. That was had another relationship. And then once that relationship became known, I'm like, yo, it's me. It's no need for me to hold on to anything, but I don't want to really start anything until I know I'm ready to handle all of that.
That's good. That's good. So in your mind, if something were to happen, let's say down the road, do you see yourself possibly, saying, hey, I might want to get married again, or it's still too soon for that for you right now?
Yeah, it's a little bit too soon. I know that I will probably be in a relationship again because that's just the type of person that I am. I mean, I know I'm a good dude and I know I have a lot to bring to the table. So I know I will probably be in a relationship, but it's going to take me taking a little more time with someone before I actually get married. I mean, because I'm in the military. So one thing a little bit different about a lot of us military folks, we get married a little bit quicker than the normal folks. I mean, some of us
That's
be with
good.
somebody 6 months and then we get married, and then they wonder why the divorce rate is so high in the military. Like my last wife, I was with her a year and a half before we got married, and I still didn't know everything about her or enough about her really to make a informed choice on making her my wife. So this next go round, I'm gonna take a little bit more time to make sure we get to know each other and understand the things that we each other bring to the table before we even get to that stage.
Okay.
Gotcha. And that's a great point that you mentioned about the military. That's something a lot of people don't even think about, but it's true. I mean, naturally, you got to pick up and move all the time. And, you got to go to the field and all of these things. So it's really hard to get that connection with the person. So that is really a great point. I thank you for mentioning that, because that's something that people probably really need to look at, because I would be suspicious to find out if that could be maybe a route for some people, and why they maybe can't hold down relationships, because maybe they're military children, or maybe they were, byproduct of the military. And if that might be something that could also work in that. So I want to thank you for that. But I want to jump to a couple of the single people, folks who've never been married before and who never, so let's jump over to DeAndrea Bush real quick. DeAndrea, why don't you talk to us a little bit about your single life and some of the challenges that you find with dating?
One of the main challenges is just kind of like how what Jarrell said, like you feel like you don't even know how to date because you've been single for so long. So it's just like, how do you do this? And you can get quickly frustrated within. Sometimes, like I know for myself, like sometimes I can just quickly like frustrated or irritated, and probably me, because I'm just like, listen, like I don't know. So when you have people around you who are in relationships and you go to them and you hear their advice, it's like you take it in, but then it's like, because you've been single for so long, you can become stubborn and you don't know which way to go sometimes. But it can be tough because you just don't know. Like you don't know how to date. You don't know really what to do on the first date. Like you don't know what to do after the first. Like it's just a lot, especially if the other person doesn't know how to date either. You know what I mean? Like if it's two people coming together where it's been a minute since y'all actually dated, and then it's just like y'all both together, and it's just like, what we do, how we talk, what do we say, and I'm like.
So, talk when you say you don't know what to do on a first date. Let's go a little bit deeper with that. Explain, what does that look like? Explain that for me.
So, like, for me, like I like to conversate, So like there was a situation where it was just like I felt like the person I was like out with didn't do that. Right. So like for me in my mind, automatic, I'm like, bro, I'm done. Right. And that was just me. Because it's just like to me, it's like, okay, are you gonna show the interest or you're not, And yeah, that's what I can say about that. Like just the lack of like showing interest, I guess, like when you're out on the date with that person.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand that completely. I will also just wanted to ask you, since most of us on the line are millennials, anywhere, from, I guess, that I forgot the range for millennials, but most of us are in
20
that
to 40.
20 to 40. Yeah. So most of us are in that kind of range. Do you feel, DeAndrea, that social media makes it difficult to date or keep a relationship? That dancing, I mean, you have so many things: Instagram, Facebook, you know.
Things.
Or is it easier?
Yeah, no. Like, I feel like when you're dating someone, like, I don't want to go public. Like, you shouldn't like just put everything on social media. And then it's easy to give into the things you do see on social media, especially when you're single or if you're dating someone. So it's just like having a balance, I should say, and having a guard up for yourself to not get so
boxed into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
My wife and I had a conversation the other day, and I told her, I said, now granted, and it's funny because whenever we say we're going to talk to single, naturally single people flip out. What are they going to tell us about being single? Or what do they know about being single? Like we woke up, came out of our mama's womb married. We have been single people at one point in time. Mm-hmm. And so we were talking, and I told my wife, I said, you women have made it really hard and difficult for us guys today when it comes to dating. And I'll explain why. Let's say I've never met you before. I don't know you. I don't know your number. All I've seen is your picture on Facebook. There's only one way that I can reach out to you. And unfortunately, because so many people have made that a negative thing, now I reach out to you and I may be a very decent guy. I'm considered a creep or I'm thirsty simply because I want to find out who you are so that I can get to know you. And so this has really made dating hard now because now every guy is considered a bad guy because of a few bad guys. So now it makes, and I tell people all the time, especially women, if you're a beautiful woman, unfortunately, we don't have a choice but to look at you. We can't see your brain. We can't see your heart. All we can see is, is the beauty that's on you. Give a guy an opportunity to at least find out who you are before you automatically classify him as just thirsty or he's just a dog because he hit me in my inbox. You see what I'm saying? And so now I would take it even a step further. Because Marquise, I'm glad he jumped back on because I was going to ask Marquise about this one because I'm going to take it a step further. Not only do you have that, but now you have the issue where, he's a creep, he's a dog, he's boxed in, he's labeled as, this, that, and the third. But now there's not a trust factor because of the way that he's trying to reach out to you. And so I want you to hold that because, Marquise, I want you to answer this. Do you find that may be a challenge when you try to approach women, that a lot of women are maybe holding on to something that they've experienced from some guys or some other areas, and now all of a sudden you're that same classification as some of these other guys?
I can definitely agree. It's kind of tough. I hear an echo. It's kind of tough. It's kind of tough dating someone, especially depending on their past. I'm a firm believer that everyone brings baggage to a relationship. Some people bring a carry-on, and some people bring a freight train. It just depends on like what all you're dealing with. But I have been put in positions where most women, like if you do one thing, it brings up a trigger, and they're triggered, and then it's like you're being put in a position or you're being blamed for something that you had no idea that you did. And depending on the maturity level, it allows them to either be cold and harsh. And then for most dudes, like if you've been hurt and you're really trying to give people a second chance or a third chance, and then you end up getting hurt, it makes you colder than what you already are. So it's almost like both parties are trying to shield off their emotions, and you're trying to open up a little gate that leads to another gate, leads to another gate, instead of just coming out saying, hey, so this is what I dealt with. I'm trying to heal in this area, that area. Like I tell anybody I date, like I'm in therapy. Like I go to therapy because I realize that I have some emotional damage that I tried to put off, and then it bled into another relationship. So I tell anybody for right now, we can talk, but for right now, I'm kind of toxic because I don't need to really date anyone until I fully heal. We could be friends, everything.
That's so mature.
Because I don't want to put you through what I'm going through. And sometimes as men, we don't say that we're hurt, and so we get into another relationship, and then if she do anything or say anything that we don't like, then we go through the same backlash, or we get triggered, and then we put her through everything that the last girl put us through. So
that's big. And what you said is so mature. And I really wish a lot of people would have that train of thought that I've been through something. I need to talk to someone before I jump into this relationship, because one of the questions that we had was really, what are your thoughts as it pertains to, healing after a serious breakup or change? And you hit the nail right on the head there that, hey, we all need someone to talk to. We all need some form of counseling, because everybody has an opportunity to bring baggage into the relationship if they do not. And that is a great thing. So I applaud you on that, Marquise, because especially as a man, not only a man, a black man, because a lot of brothers are not thinking about trying to go talk to no counselor. I'm not crazy, but no, the reality is I know I need help, and that is really the biggest key. And that's really what this is about, is being able to figure out how we can be productive as single people that's ready for relationship.
Well, I think
Jordan,
it comes from knowing yourself.
That's the key. Knowing yourself. You got to know yourself. If you don't know yourself, you'll hurt a whole lot of people. Definitely. Thank you so much for that, Marquis. Jordan, I got a question for you. What does the preparation phase, while you're waiting, what does that look like for you?
The preparation phase. It's a struggle. It ain't easy. I'm gonna say that.
Okay.
The preparation phase is getting prepared to get back into a relationship and wanting to be the right one for her, and having her to be the right one for you. With my last situation, it broke me down. It put me in a place where I had to leave where I was and have to start all over again. So the preparation phase for me is just, when you say start over, I mean start over. I'm out here, but at the same time, I'm prepping myself. And first and foremost, it'll be through God. God's gonna have to come in and take control of me first before I can even think about even being with anybody. Because of what I've been through, things that I've put on the last relationship and wanted to be into something new. So the prep is there, but like I said, manually it's more so of dealing with God first, and then looking for a partner.
Okay. That's big. So what, and I know for you are a single father. So from that perspective, what does that look like? What are some of the challenges of being a single father, and how to grow from one relationship to the other as it pertains to that aspect of things?
Being a single father, for one, that's another thing that's just not it's not easy, but you have to put yourself in position for it. Just because you never know what could happen, and it ended up happening with me. And I'm in Georgia. My kids are in North Carolina, and so that within itself is work, because I'm not able to physically be there with them. Um, but the only thing that I can really do at the point in time is come and visit, send money as much as possible, make sure that they're good in school, make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. As far as dealing with that, making sure that they are helping mom out as we co-parent. You know, we're on one accord with that. But as a single, but as a single dad, it's like I said, it's not easy. But I try to make it work as much as possible.
That's good. That's good. Thank you. Thanks so much for that. That's big.
Yeah, so I do have a question for the women that are women and fathers who are mothers and fathers, single mothers and fathers on here. What challenges do you have while dating? Nicole, would you be able to answer from your point of view? From if you say you wanted to go out on a date, do you have, the proper childcare? Is that kind of hard? Do you have a cautionary period when you introduce the guy that you're dating to your child? Those kind
of. For me, I don't know. I'm not with it. I'm not like with the whole introducing men to my child. I'm not with just dating like anyone, knowing that I have a kid. Because I don't know, it's just for me, like being with her dad for so long, and then to go from that to her being around a whole nother male figure. I don't 100% trust it off gate. So like my guard is all the way up when it comes to that. I don't know. I don't know what it is that I would have to like see or do in order for me to be like, okay, yeah, we're good. Because I'm just very cautious when it comes to that.
Okay.
So, do you have like in your mind? Is there like a cautionary period that you have that says, hey, this is how long it would take me to, be introduce the kids maybe to a person or something of that nature? Not that you've done it, but maybe in your mind, is that just something that, like, okay, it would take 6 months, 5 months or whatever?
No, I haven't really thought like, oh, it'll take XYZ amount of time, because if it's right, it's right. I feel like maybe I'll just feel it.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can really put a time frame on that, because it's such like a fragile, it's such a sensitive like situation. And it's like, you can think like, okay, I'm talking to this person in 6 months, we might be serious, but do you really know them after 6 months? Like, we had someone on here that said that they were married to someone for a year and a half and they still didn't really truly know who they are. And I mean, I know that you never, you can't really depend on actually really knowing that person. But I feel like I would just have to really feel it in my heart, my spirit, that it's right for my child to meet anyone.
Okay, that's good. Hey, how about
especially while they're young too? Especially while they're young.
Oh, yeah. I agree 100%. I definitely agree with that. Jaya, how about you? What is your train of thought with that? When, as a single mother, do you have a cautionary period after a certain time frame of when you would let your children meet someone you may be dating, and what kind of challenges do you face as a single mother with trying to date, with the kids?
I think she's muted. Jaya, can you hear us?
Maybe she can't. Well, I'm gonna ask you, Jarrell, because you
Hello?
you have
Y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, we can hear you.
Okay,
Maybe
what's up,
repeat the
y'all?
question.
Sorry, I don't know what the connection is. It's saying that the StreamYard. So I don't know, but I
Okay.
did move. I don't know. I think you're talking about introducing your kids to people that you're dating.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, and how long it takes? I don't like to introduce my kids to people that I'm dating. Um, I don't like to introduce them to people that I'm dating until I feel like there's some potential for a future. Um, if I don't feel that, then we don't feel nothing. We don't do
Okay, that makes sense. It really does. And anyone could kind of answer this question, but why is it that you feel millennials are staying single longer than any other generation? What's kind of your take on it compared to like maybe your grandparents and people before you? How do you feel like in today's world that's kind of changed the narrative?
Uh, can I
Yeah, you can
tune
go
in?
ahead. Uh-huh.
So I have to use me. I don't, I'm listening to everybody's stories. With me, I couldn't devalue myself. We get to a point where we devaluize ourselves. In other words, we don't think we're valuable enough to be really in a relationship, because it really takes two to do something to try into a relationship. But if you don't have a relationship with yourself, knowing yourself, we talk with emotions because we
Mhm.
remember the pain that we've been in. So the real love is behind the hurt. And so what you're trying to dig out, you got to dig out of the hurt in order to find the love. So those, or the person that comes into your life, may not necessarily be the one that you perceive to be in your eyes, but it may be the one that's going to break that yoke, I'm trying not to preach that, but break the bondage that you've been carrying. It may be the one that breaks it. And so you have to be able to understand, if they say you're valuable, you still have a little piece in you to be in a relationship or to build where you are. You're still valuable. No matter how hurt you've been in, if you're breathing, you still got some value there. You
Mhm.
still got, we peel off onions. That's what we do. We peel off the onions, the onion peel. You peel the stuff off. You still valuable. So with me, I had to learn how to understand I'm valuable. I'm valuable. I'm loved. I love myself enough that I know I'm not going to get hurt. So I begin to recognize the difference in
Mm,
being in the relationship, but actually being in a relationship.
that's good.
So
But you
yeah,
know what
I'm
you
not
said
going
is
to show my
powerful.
child off yet. I'm not going to show my child off yet either, until I
Mhm.
know I found valuable enough for me to show me off to you first. I need to know that I'm going to show you off.
Ah,
Am I valuable to be shown off before I show
yeah,
you?
safety,
But
safety.
what you said is so powerful, because you said, if I know me enough and I love me enough, I'm not going to get hurt.
No,
See,
that's not me. I made a blunder.
see that, but that mentality, because what we find is a lot of people have the mindset of hurt, the mindset of pain. Everything about
Yes.
relationships for them has been equated with pain. And so we've got a lot of people who are hurt. Last week, we were in a class with Apostle Rodney Sally, and he gave a quote by Miles Monroe. And the quote that Miles Monroe gave was that everybody is single. Even if you're married, you're still a single person. In other words, what he was saying was, as an individual, you are single. And many people who are single don't like being single because they feel like they need to be in a relationship with someone. And what that means is you haven't come into reality and an understanding of what your singleness represents. There really is nothing bad about being single. I mean, if I could just be honest, you know, when I was a single person, and going back to what we mentioned earlier, I was married and had to transition from a married mindset to a single mindset. And all of a sudden, I noticed one thing that I could do that I could never do before. I can just get up and I could go whenever I wanted to. I didn't have to answer to anybody. I didn't have to tell anybody. It was just like, oh my God, this is cool. If I wanted to go stay in a hotel room, I could go stay in a hotel room, and I wasn't going to catch an argument from it. I wasn't going to catch feedback. And I'm like, oh man, this is cool. I could go to eat. I can go to a movie. I mean, there's so many things that I could do by myself that I couldn't do up to that point. And I was like, oh my God, this is cool. Now, on the flip side of that, I understand everybody wants companionship. But at the same time, we have to understand that if you're single, you have to enjoy who you are, love yourself until someone comes along. But if that person doesn't come along, you still are supposed to be able to enjoy life because you ain't got nobody to answer to. Because when you get married, every single move that you make, that person that's beside you, I don't want to say has to give you permission, but you got to let that person know every single
It's transparency.
thing.
It's more transparency involved. When you're single, you don't really have to articulate what you're doing or what your mindset is. And that's the perspective of what he was mentioning, because I could remember, you know, being single. And even though I spent most of my time, even before marriage, I spent most of my time in relationships. And it was a broken cycle, honestly, because I never took the time to actually get the proper healing that I needed. And I didn't know I needed. And that was the biggest thing for me. And that's why I was so intentional before marriage. When I knew that we were on the track for marriage, I decided to go to therapy. Like Markeith was saying, I really felt like it was the point for me to really get some healing, because maybe I'm the issue and I may not know I'm the issue, or whatever the case may be, or maybe the relationship ended because of the other person. So it keeps me in the mindset of thinking, oh, it was them that did it, or it was them why the relationship ended. But there are some people, if you don't really go through therapy, you really don't know how broken you really are.
Right.
So that's why we're relationship counselors. We're all for it. And even life coaching, because when you're in a relationship, goes back to, you know, my husband's point, you are single, and it's almost like, because we crave companionship, we attempt, and I can speak for myself, but we kind of attempt to be all and pour all of ourselves into that relationship. That's not a marriage first, but a relationship. And we're not really understanding that when, you know, a breach happens or when hurt or pain exists, that we need that extra time to actually heal from it. And I also want to say, with dating, and we mentioned the whole social media perspective, but it is important to intentionally date or put yourself in environments that are conducive. We understand with the pandemic, things are going on.
Oh my God.
But if you're one of those, like I was one of those when I was single, don't hit me up in my DM. I don't want to talk to you. That's unattractive.
But see what I told you?
I can be honest. I was really that one, and I never knew, like, Jess. But for me, and it was when my husband and I were having a conversation, I never truly dated someone that I didn't know. Like, we either went to school together, you were a friend of a friend. Like, there was always a comfortability there based off of the circumstances. But to date a complete stranger, if you are, how else are they going to get to know you? They don't have your number. They have to start somewhere. And if you're always at home, and that's why I said the pandemic, if you're always at home, then it makes it a little harder for you to begin dating because that's the only access they have to you is through social media. So when it comes to going to brunches, like I know guys, they have their meetups and they'll watch sports and they'll do their thing. And women, we love brunches. We love, Sunday brunch and hanging out with our girls. There is nothing wrong with doing like a group kind of session at a brunch or a restaurant, and you don't know who you can come into contact with. I mean, there are so many different ways outside of social media that you could really meet the person that, that's right for you.
DeAndrea,
Yes.
what
Also,
oh, go ahead, Nicole.
Yeah, I wanted to say, I don't really think that, I don't know, I could be wrong. I don't think that like us as women are opposed to meeting someone like through social media. And I don't think it's anything wrong with like sliding in to the DMs. I think like for me, I guess I can speak for myself. It's like a respect thing. Like, what time are you sliding in my DMs? Like, you're saying when you're sliding in my DMs, Like, if you're being respectful, like you're respecting me, my time, like then it's a different idea of things. But like if you sliding in at 4 a.m. just because
what if he's got a third shift job?
Perspective is everything. Or on a different time zone.
What if he has a third shift job? What if he lives in Europe?
Guess what? He knows, obviously, if he's sliding in my DM, he better do his research and see what time zone I'm in so he can slide in at the correct time. Because if it's 4 a.m. where I'm at and you sliding in my DM like, what's up, baby girl, you can just slide right back out the way you slid in.
Oh, now I'm with you. But you know what? You make a great point because presentation is everything.
Right. So, and if a guy's going out their way and they're like, all right, it's 6 o'clock where she's at, let me wait a couple hours. Women really gonna be looking like, wow, he really took the time. I can see that he's not in the same time zone as me. It's afternoon and he's sending me good morning. That means that he's really taking the time to know me, know what's going on with my life. Then he can slide in, but if not, slide back out, baby boy. Bye.
I love it.
No, but that is a great point. It's all about presentation, and I'm with you there. He hitting you up, hey shorty, and hey, baby girl. Okay, that's gonna be a problem. But if he genuinely, approaches you, hey, my name is so and so. I'm not a creep. Listen, I'm just. I want to get to know you. But I love the fact that you say you're open to it. Yeah. You heard what she said. She like, nah, I ain't having it.
I'm not feeling it when I was
nah. And that's what I told her. I said, y'all, people like you make it hard on guys like us because as it is, we generate so much courage just to say hi to you. Mm-hmm. And then you kill us because of this mindset that you have. And it's like, but DeAndrea, for you, see, because you probably fall in that same category. What are the? Oh, she jumped out quick. No, she didn't. She jumped out quick. Wow. She's like, nope, I'm not answering that one.
But Nicole, since you were speaking, do you believe in love at first sight? Like if you were to meet someone at a mall or a restaurant, whatever, do you actually believe in that? Or is it, no, I have to get to know you. I mean, I might feel an attraction, but it won't be love.
Okay, so I'm like 50-50 because like I'm a sucker for married at first sight, where I see people who are literally falling in love at first sight, but you have to also think like it's a process with them. So like you could really, meet someone, y'all could sit and talk for hours getting to know each other. And you could really feel like, man, this might be my person. I feel like it's possible.
Yeah.
I don't think that you should go and get married tomorrow or next week. I feel like there should still be that good amount of time in between But I do think that you could know within the first day of meeting someone like that they're a
And even
person.
with the show that you mentioned, which was really key for those who've never watched Married at First Sight, what they do, the relationship counselors really investigate how you live,
Right.
what your habits are like before they match you. They actually go through this extensive research to
And
find
even
out
then, they still put people together that should absolutely not be
what
together.
together,
So that's
right?
why I said I'm like in between. It's like, could it really happen? Could you really get that fairy tale relationship? Like, could you really get that if you walk up to somebody and meet them all in that one day? I don't know, but I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it goes back to different cultures who have arranged marriages, and that's what they do. But they find to, make it work. There is
Yeah, I
no
ain't
difference in that.
That's it, Blaine. That's it, Blaine. See, DeAndre, you gonna drop the mic and walk away on me again?
Yeah, we asked you a question, you just disappeared.
You
I'm
just
like,
disappeared.
drop
I'm like, oh, she did that on purpose. No, but I was asking you though. But do you find that there are challenges though that you have with dating? And challenges with even the social media aspect. But what challenges do you find at that? Boy, they don't want her to answer that question.
They do not.
They do not.
Well, Jaya, you're on. Go ahead. I see you in the comments. Go ahead and answer
She said,
that
I believe
question.
in flesh at first sight. Oh my God. You looking real good at first sight.
So look, I changed my phone. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
I see you in these
Oh my God.
comments going in.
Bed. Yeah, I believe in no love at first sight. No, I believe in flesh at first sight. I believe in lust at first sight. I'm believing you look good when I first meet you. What happened to you now? I don't believe in love at first sight. But there was one relationship on that love at first sight with the white guy and the black lady.
Yeah.
They are still rocking hard. Do you think it's promotional stuff or because they serious? They serious.
Wow.
Now that couple, we only watched the show when they were actually in Charlotte, North Carolina. So that's the only season we saw. But yeah.
I'm not even.
And it was funny because we just came across it one day, and I'm like, I bet you there's a whole bunch of older people on there.
Listen.
And then I was like, wait a minute, 20, 30. But I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be for someone just saying, okay, here's your marriage certificate. I got to do my own research. You may have not looked in that corner, in that dresser. That's untapped now. We got to do
that. Is my wife, right? No, my wife would not be good for any of those kind of shows or anything like that.
No.
So we obviously gonna have to change the nature of the question for DeAndrea because it doesn't apparently it don't like that question.
No.
So DeAndrea, do you believe in love at first sight?
No. Like what Jay said, if you look good at first sight, I believe in all that, but I don't think that I can just meet you one time and boom, I'm in love with you. Like,
thank you.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, I say that because to me right now, I feel like I'm very at a guarded place. So because my guard is there, it's just I don't even want to allow myself to think that I can just fall in love the first time.
Okay.
So what boundaries, and then I'm going to go to Quincy real quick, but what boundaries do you have with dating?
I definitely feel like, I'm gonna say this. I'm learning the kind of boundaries that I should have. Let me be real about that.
That's good.
That's my answer.
Okay. That's good. And Quincy, for you, you know, going through the transition that you've gone through and are still in the process of going through, what boundaries now would you actually have in place that you might have not had in place before?
Wait a minute, let's see. I really don't have any boundaries. I just have
Woo!
limits. So with me,
So
I
when you
mean,
get up here, I gotta let you go. Like you out.
I mean, I'm a little bit older, so I don't really have the boundaries set per se. It's just like I'm just in a phase where I'm just talking because, like I said, I'm still just getting rid of everything. So I don't have a boundary on what we can talk about or boundaries on if we go out to meet. I don't have any of those yet because I don't know exactly what I'm looking for to be able to set those boundaries.
Well, let me help you with that a little bit, Quincy. So you're saying then that this, and I'm just hypothetical. Clearly, let's say I'm a female. I meet you. We have an argument. You saying you are cool with me cussing you out and pulling a knife on you.
I'm saying if that's what you feel you need to do, you need to be able to be prepared to handle what's going to happen after that. You better know yourself.
Come on, the Grant family.
But see, but that's what we mean by boundary. That's what we mean by boundary. I know he was slick with it, but that's what we mean by the boundary.
I mean,
yeah, it's like
you don't know how everybody's going to react to a conversation that you have, especially if you're just not knowing them.
Right.
So yes, you could go out with somebody and y'all talking about something, and you might trigger something to the way they feel they need to curse you out or do anything. You can't set those boundaries in the beginning. Those take time for you to learn and see what you're actually looking for. So, like I said, for me, I'm not really looking for anything right now.
Okay.
So you won't actually set boundaries until it's something serious. Is that what I'm hearing?
Right.
Until you know it's serious.
Because sometimes you can set boundaries in some relationships until you can set a boundary up front, and you might be missing out on something. You don't know that just yet.
That's good.
So for me,
that's good.
I mean, I can't. I'm not at that point right now.
And that's right. And at this point, you don't necessarily have to. That's good. That's good. Jarrell, you and I talked a little bit earlier, and you were sharing some things. I want to pull on you on that there, because we didn't touch on this topic at all. but we need you for the real folks. It gets rated R. So, what were you telling me when you and I spoke earlier about, the real, if you will?
Okay. All right.
Uh-oh.
Pray for my signal because it's trying to go out for some reason. And so I need the signal to dry up. I'm telling you, I need the signal to dry up right now. But listen, so
He said it.
He said it.
He knew. That is funny. He gonna jump back on here in a moment. He gonna jump back on. Jordan, talk to us about your boundaries, sir.
Say that again.
Talk about your boundaries. What boundaries do you have, as it pertains to dating and things like that?
I can't do crazy.
You can't do crazy?
I can't do crazy. If you got crazy tendencies,
we related.
So what is crazy?
We related.
I can't do crazy, man.
That's why he was your cousin.
That's why my cousin. You're exactly right. Like, with me, is I gotta like the brother said, you gotta find out who the person is. And really, I mean, dig into it. If you're actually into that person and you're wanting to make something work, I think that's what it takes. Work, boundaries. I'm not giving I'm not going to put my all into something that I feel like was only there for one night, or you're not. You got to be in somewhere in there interested in me just as well as I'm interested in you. My boundaries are I'm still in the kind of the healing process. So my boundaries are kind of set where they are, but there is a process for the step.
But long story short, we can't do crazy. Crazy is not in our
I can't do
vocabulary.
crazy.
Yeah,
I can't do crazy.
do that.
I've seen all types. I'm
It's like keep your bipolar self across the street.
Thank you. Immediately.
Deal. So Jarrell, you back with us? You got better reception now?
He said, hold that thought. There is a question.
I use my phone, so we pray now that this phone acts right too. Okay.
There we go. You on it. Uh-oh.
Did it freeze up on him?
I think it did. Well, while he's kind of going through the buffering stage, anyone can answer this question. Is it okay to date multiple people at the same time? And if so, how do you keep a healthy balance? Markeith, I kind of
let me jump on this one.
Okay.
So dating multiple people. I think if you're at a mindset and you're honest with yourself and you're honest with those people, it could work. But in my thing, if you're dating multiple people, you're not really looking for it at one. You're not trying to put yourself out there. You might find little bits and pieces of what you're looking for in all of them. And in my case, when I was doing that, I wasn't trying to fall in love with anybody. So I would never let myself or give myself to any one person. I would give bits and pieces of myself to each one. So in that case, I don't see a problem with it as long as you are honest and upfront.
You have to be
doing it behind each other's backs and all that stuff. No, I can't do that because I'm not trying to have nobody come and cut my car. I'm not trying to have all that. So from jump, you're gonna know. Hey, you're gonna deal with me on those terms. If you can't deal with me on those terms, hey, that's where I'm at right now.
Hey,
but I don't see a problem with it as long as you're upfront with it.
Cool.
Great answer. How about you, Markeith?
Go ahead.
I would never do that again in my life. It was very frustrating and draining because it's like 3-4 different personalities that I got to deal with. I was upfront. I told them that I just wanted to, and I think somebody read in the comments it's just dating, but I think I'm kind of old school. Like I feel like if we're dating mean like I'm not committed to you. There's no commitment. Like we go, we hang out, I take you out to eat, we go to movies. To me, talking is like I'm trying to get to know you. Like I'm trying to see where it's gonna lead it. And then, it's like I want to court you if I want to court you. I'm old school. Like I want to feel like I got to put in some time. But talking to different people, it was just like what he said, you're not really looking for any commitment. It's just like at this stage of my life, I really don't want to be by myself, but I enjoy your company. I don't mind talking to you type thing. And I know my dad used to tell me like, it's nothing wrong with talking to people, but you got that one point, you got to figure out what you're going to do. Because talking to people going to end up to you catching feelings for one, then I had to deal, like I say, with split personalities, and you got like 3-4. That's why I don't see how people cheat, because it's like that's too much.
That's too much work.
Right?
Too much.
You gotta keep up with your lives. You gotta keep up with your whereabouts. Just too much.
But now, to Quincy's point, if you're looking to have a good time and you're not trying to be serious from a relationship perspective, it doesn't require all that. And so I think that's the healthy. Go ahead.
I think for me it's just like we both came into agreement. Everybody came into agreement, and I was up front like, hey, so I'm just like, I just want to take you on a date. Everything. They be cool with it. Then at one point or another, somebody gonna catch feelings. That's the downfall. Somebody's gonna catch feelings,
That is so true.
And it's just like, I know me, like I'd rather just tell you the truth. Like I'm not in a place where I don't want to be with you versus me stringing you along and then I don't really care for you. Like you just cool. And
That's good.
I'm one of them type people, if I see red flags, like Jay said off bat, like, you know, I mean, I feel like naturally everybody crazy, male and female. It just depends on how much you want to put up with. Like, you know, what's the deal breaker? Like, I can put up with a little, you know, if you feisty, that's totally fine with me.
That's why I said define crazy with Jay.
Right, but if you the type that like every time I want to go somewhere, it's gonna lead to an argument, or you know, let me see your phone, or this, like I'm too grown for that. Like, I'm grown, you're grown. Either you gonna trust me or you not gonna trust me. And I think at this point in my life, I'm a business owner too. So I like me talking and dating is like trying to squeeze in extra time out of 24 hours that I'm already dedicated into working. So for me, it's best that I get to know you off rip. You know, I hate to treat it like a business, but it's like we got these lists of goals and like questions. And it's like one girl, I sent her a list of questions and goals because it's just like I need to see where you at right now, because I know where I'm at. But
you
where
sent
are
her
you
a questionnaire. That is different.
Listen,
I like it.
That's what I'm talking. That's why that's my brother right there.
We don't play no games. Preliminary.
That's why that's my brother right there.
Preliminary. This
I mean,
is your preliminary questionnaire.
When you're like 27 and older, it's like, and I'm in Atlanta too, so the dating pool is already slim as it is, because it's Atlanta. Then you got to worry about like, so more than likely I'm gonna end up with somebody that's single. I'm gonna end up with someone with a child. Somebody got a child, and I'm fine with that because I was raised by a single black woman, so I'm fine with that. But I need to know exactly what I'm gonna put up with, what I'm not gonna put up with. Like, you know,
okay, Paul.
I got my deal breakers.
I mean, so, but now here's the question, and see, my brother, he is something else because he literally asked the question as I was about to say it, because I was going to say, can we define dating? Because what happens is, I think a lot of times when we talk about dating, everybody automatically thinks relationship. And ultimately, in some cases, it may take many dates before a relationship is ever formed. And so, in reference to the question we're referring to, and I love Quincy's answer, honestly, because it's like, look, I want some companionship. I want to hang out. I don't want to be by myself. Hey, let me call somebody and go on a date. And you're together, you're eating, having a good time, but you can set the boundary and the parameters right then and there that, hey, this is just a one-time deal. I might get with you next month or something like that, but this is not nothing serious because nobody's going to be keying my car. I just want to have a good time tonight because I don't want to be by myself.
Yeah.
And I think
you gotta set that out there.
And I think and it goes back to when he was talking about being honest and out front, letting it be known from the outset, because y'all know, fellas, where most men get in trouble is we be like, girl, I'm feeling you. You the only one for me, and at the same time, we got to,
doing that pillow talk.
And it's like, instead of being honest from the outset, hey, I've got a couple people that, that I'm interested in, but I really just wanted some companionship for today or for tonight. And I think what happens is by doing that, you allow a person not to put their heart on the line.
False expectations.
Yeah, because when you are at a point to where you're not sharing the proper information from the outset, this when the females is like, hold up, I see a future with us, and I see us doing this, and I see us doing that. And that's where you start getting, in, as Jordan said, the crazy people. That's where the people start keying your car and all of that. D'Angelo, what do you feel about going out, with multiple people, dating multiple people, in certain time frames? What's your feeling on that?
I can't do that. I don't want to talk to multiple people. Yeah, no. I'd rather just, I saw a comment that said one person at a time, and that's me. Because at the end of the day, you don't know, within maybe a month to 3 months if you still want to deal with that person.
Did she drop? She dropped. Every time she go to answer, Jaya, you answer that from your end.
Dating multiple people?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not doing that. I don't even know how to date, but I definitely dating more than one person.
And why not?
Because I'm too old for that. I want to get the first conversation out the way. I know if I want to talk to you again. I know if I want to save your name in my phone. I know all of that from the first conversation. We don't gotta do all of that. Now when I like you, then yeah, we need to go out and do stuff. But until
You hardcore from the beginning. So if the wall is taken down, then you can proceed forward.
Blaine said, I ain't got enough money for multiple people. It costs money to go on multiple
That's true. That's true. Well, that is true.
I mean, I don't know. I just never did.
Why you gotta have money? I'm lost. Why you gotta have money for all that?
I'm serious about that because I think that's a great idea because I'm all for it. I tell men all the time, going into a relationship, you should have a mission. You should have a plan. You should have a strategy. And I think that questionnaire is great because that kind of sets that precedence from the outset. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm about. Because we got to go through the 100 questions.
Can I say something about the questionnaire?
Say what, Jan?
Can I say something about the questionnaire? So the question is all fine. The question is all fine. Just don't be like, oh, I gotta go. Hold up. Make sure your question is to yourself, and you taking a list because that's crazy. I don't want to feel like I want to job interview. Like you gonna already get cut from that. Don't show the world that list now. Yeah, you can put that
But now, let me say this. On the flip side of that, Jaya, women require so much for men, and most women have 100 questions already. What's your credit score? Where do you work? What do you do? And he's saying from his perspective, he's got the same criteria for the female.
All I'm saying is be smooth about it. I don't care. Be smooth about it.
So my question is,
I want to know where your mother lives. Is she alive? She dead? She was good to you? How many kids you got? How many kids you want? Where you work? How long you been there? Do you know longevity? Like, I want to know those things. You know what I'm saying? So just be smooth about it. You know what I'm saying?
So you want it piecemeal. You don't want it all together.
No, she just don't want it.
So let me explain. So
yes, thank you, sir.
Apostle, so my background is in market research and development. So I'm naturally. I'm naturally want to, and I'm the type of person like I do want to get to know you, and it's smooth too. But my whole thing is, I try to make sure I'm a big person on. I don't want to waste your time. So I feel like if I can get out those big questions, like I dated a young lady with we went to school with each other, and she had a son. So my whole thing is like, is the dad in the son's life? Like, how often do he see him? Stuff like that, because I'm dating you with a child. Like,
so you alter it.
Right. So how often are you available? Because I understand with a child, and especially the child was 2, you got to be there for your child like that. So it's like, can you even date?
Right. What
or it's totally opposite. Like I had a young lady come up to me the other day, like, And brothers, like, she was in designer wear, and she was like, "You're handsome." I'm just like, in my mind, I don't have enough money to afford you, because you shopping. I'm in Buckhead area, and you just see me driving somebody's rental car, because my car is in the shop. Like, it's already like, I don't want to play no games, like, type thing. And up here in Atlanta, like, it's almost like if they see you got a little bit, if they think you got money, or they see potential in something, you got women trying to be on the come up, and you got men here in Atlanta that's trying to be on the come up too, because women in Atlanta make 6 figures. So to me, it's an even playing field. Like, you got to be careful if you're a woman that got money, and if you're a dude that got money. Like, my sister just told me, because I'm working with a corporation and I'm climbing up. So it's almost like, hey, you need to be aware. Like, you done started losing weight, you're in corporate, people see that.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, well, let me see what you about before we even invest any time.
I'm with that.
Go ahead, Jan.
No, I'm with that. All I said, but to me, when you start saying it like that, it's like we're just having a conversation. Because I ask a lot of questions. I want to know what you got going on, and I'm open to questions. Like, you probably don't even have to ask me no questions. But when you say the question, it just makes it sound so impersonal. Like, and I guess at that point it is still impersonal because you don't know the person, so you just trying to get,
So
just don't worry about what I
some of my questions,
but just be smooth about it.
Like, some of the questions will be like, okay, so what type of music do you like? I'm a 90s R&B person. Like, what type of music do you like?
That's conversation, though.
Yeah, like, I try to, fellas, you try to hit the basic with, you believe in the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Let's get them points.
I want to get that out the way. That's one of my first things. Maybe we should just stop calling it a questionnaire, because that's what's making it sound so bad. It's like we slapping this questionnaire right in her face when we start talking. Like, the stuff you're saying is a valid point. It makes sense to, like, want to know those things, but, like, let's just not call it a questionnaire.
Yeah, you don't really got to have a conversation.
Because I don't want no questionnaire. That's like you said, that's gonna make you be like, all right, he doing too much.
Like,
yeah, like. But if you casually asking those questions, then that's fine.
Let me say this on to that note. I love that both of you say that. Now, and I'm just telling you what I'm hearing. I don't want a man that's got a plan. I don't want a man. That's what you No, because you finally got a brother who said, I'm giving a questionnaire. I'm coming out front with this. I'm being straight up with this. He said, I court. I'm old school. I believe in this. I believe in that. And both of y'all equivocally was like, nah.
Men take something that we say and, like,
why he gotta be smooth? He ain't gotta be smooth. He's telling you who he is.
You want to be sensitive to the other person.
Well, I would say every woman on this line or on this earth wants a man who has a plan. Now, absolutely. I don't believe that's what they were referring to.
That's what they said.
I believe it comes off as kind of like a checklist. What women are used to in a conversational manner. So with a checklist and you're answering the questions, there's not a conversation taking place. It's more or less complete this assignment. Here you go. If you pass with a passing grade, okay, we can proceed further. But if not, I ain't gonna waste your time.
Somebody said a comment to where it's like, all right, just hold on, slow down. Like, you're taking a little bit of the fun out of dating, because if you give me this questionnaire up front, what we going to talk about?
Watch this. Do you know listen, do you know who you all sound like now? You sound just like men when we talk about you women. This is the very thing that we talk about when we have to meet you for the first time. We say, wait, she want to know 100 questions. She want to know if I got this, if I got that, if I got that. Why can't she slow down and just wait and we just live this thing and grow together? Now you're saying the exact same thing, and I got brothers on the line shaking their heads. It's the same thing we say. But you're saying you don't want to plan, or no, you don't want a man coming with a checklist, but you have a checklist.
You have a checklist.
It's a hidden checklist. But
and your checklist, not only do you have a checklist, your girls got the same checklist that you have. And y'all go by that
I
same
think
thing.
that the way that the questionnaire was brought about, it just sounds way worse than what it is.
Yeah.
If he's saying that, if he's saying that he's entering into something and he's like, all right, these are the things that I want to know about a woman, and if these things are what I want them to be, then we can date. Cool. Like, us women are the same way, but saying it in the way of like a questionnaire, it just sounded way worse than what it actually is. It's like we sitting down at the table and you got a pen and paper and you like, all right, what's your credit score? All right, X. Like, no, it doesn't need to be like that, because it's I don't know. It won't seem like you're enjoying a person. You're having fun with a person.
Okay, so you got to think about it. Like, from a man's perspective, depending on who you date, you have women asking you off rip. Like, I had a young lady ask me off rip. So and it wasn't like it was a nice way to say, hey, what do you do for a living? How much do you make?
I mean, that's me for sure. I'm gonna ask you, do you have your own place? Do you have a car? Where you work? How much? Like, that's me. But I feel like it's not gonna come as a questionnaire.
That's a question. That's a questionnaire, though.
That's a questionnaire.
This getting messy, y'all. This getting messy.
That's a questionnaire.
That's the questionnaire.
Right.
I did was bring it to the front.
I gotta take you out on a date just to get the questionnaire. I'm guessing that's what you're saying.
It's the effort for me. It's the effort. And I think any woman would appreciate the effort, but it's just the presentation on how it's handled.
We don't have to do this show again.
Like, we really do.
I hope y'all open for doing this again, because Nicole and my wife and Jay just opened up a whole can of worms.
No, but can I tell you one thing? Hold on, because I'm very understanding. Like, I get it. And I can be like that too in the first conversation. I let you know what I'm into, what I like. I want to know what you like. So I think it's okay, because that's where you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you running your show. This is your show. You making the choice. So I don't really think that is bad. I was just saying, and I had to think about it while y'all was going back and forth like some kids. I'm like, this is so, like, if that's what he wants, then what's really wrong with that? Because at the end of the day, we all sound like we're saying that that's what we want anyway. So if he decides that he want to go into the situation, like, so, what kind of time you live on? Oh, no, that's not if he decides that he wants to ask you these questions and know these things about you because he wants to move forward in a certain type of way, we don't want to waste each other's time. So I think that there's nothing wrong with what you're saying. I don't recant my statement, but I just, you got to be a little just more smooth with it. You feel me?
It's not like I'm sitting here drilling you with all the questions.
Right. That's how it sounded. That's how it sounded.
Okay, so I apologize on that. It's smooth.
Okay.
It's just that I know what certain, like, okay, so Apostle and them know, they pick at me. They know I'm one of the type people. I love designer wear. I love a luxury lifestyle. But Apostle know I am very cheap. If I can get it,
balling on the budget.
If I can get it for the low, I'm gonna do it. But I'm one of them type people I don't mind. Like my dream home is not no 3-bedroom, 2-bath. My dream home is like a 7-bedroom, 5-bath, 3-4 story mansion. That's my dream home. But if I'm talking to you and you're talking about, well, I don't want to live that certain type of life, then like I need to know exactly who you are, because if you're gonna sit there and complain about certain stuff that I do, because financially I can afford it, but if you can't afford it, or you're looking at it from a different perspective, then I don't want to hear nagging every time I buy something and you're talking about, oh, that's too much money. It depends on your level of income. Like to me, it's not that much. And plus I'm gonna buy it on sale versus someone else who, if that's not your thing, that's cool. That's not your thing, but don't bash me for being myself.
Right.
You know what? I love it. Again, we're going to have to do this again for real. DeAndrea, real quick. DeAndrea, real quick. We want to get you to close us out on this. What's your train of thought on everything we just said?
I get what everybody's saying. I really do. My thing kept going in and out, so it was like a lot. But like the last part, what he just said, about like the whole like questionnaire thing. At this point, like he said, what, you're 27 and older, I think you said. So it's like you at a point where it's like you don't got time to waste. You know what you want. You know what I mean? Versus, so it's just like, here's what it is, and you either with it or you're not. Like that's just how I see it when it comes to the whole questionnaire thing. But yeah.
Okay.
And Jarrell was having connectivity issues.
So we have to do this again.
We're going to have to, because the stuff he want to talk about is it's the real deal.
And he didn't get a chance to
and so we got, but if you guys are open to doing this again, I hope that you guys are, because we love having you guys. You guys have been great. Yeah. I love your answers and responses. Nicole, you are absolutely crazy. Jaya, I don't know what's wrong with you. Jordan, you my dude. Marquis,
you keep it real
all day. You know, DeAndrea, that's my buddy right there. Quincy is my man. Quincy is my man. Well, I appreciate all of you guys' honesty, your transparency, your realness, and just sharing people.
I am crazy, but not King Car crazy. For whoever said Ken Car crazy. I'm not that type.
Oh God,
you're not car key crazy. You're not that kind of crazy.
You're not the crazy they
You're not gonna be that. And see, and like the Angela Waters, okay, she couldn't be with us tonight.
She said we need order.
Yeah, she y'all need what? She had
next time.
Family emergency. She couldn't be with us at the last moment, unfortunately.
And then Yolanda couldn't be with us. She really apologized. She has her own tax business, so it's tax season, so that's what that was. But we have to have you guys all back with us.
Man, listen,
it was amazing.
The audience enjoyed your responses, your answers. We thank you guys again for being honest and all of that, because I'm telling you, it is amazing. But look, y'all know, if you don't know, you know now. I'm gonna dig. I'm gonna go there. I'm like, okay, hold on a second. That ain't right. But no, I love the fact that he mentioned the questionnaire. And when we do this the next time, I'm gonna see if I can have the questionnaire in my hand. That way we can look at the questionnaire and be like, look. I can be like, okay.
Yes, Jerome.
And then I'm gonna maybe
Jerome is a part two. Jerome said it's there part two.
Email that out there, everybody.
I'm gonna write about it.
Yeah, I might have to.
No, Marquis is thorough. Trust me, he's thorough. We not trust me when I tell you. My boy is thorough.
My husband still get asked questions, so we married. So
see, that's what I'm talking about. So that's
the questionnaire.
Because this is a questionnaire.
The questionnaire.
Communication.
With the idea, you know how many relationships your girl could have saved. You bless me. I'm married. I got my one now. But listen,
Right.
Hey, that come from my dad. My dad, because all them failed relationships, my dad was just like, you keep picking the same kind of woman. You need to switch it up. So that's where they come
That's the
from.
importance of fathers.
Like, let me find out now. I just want to find out now.
right.
I'm
No
not going any
surprises.
further. This ain't gonna work
So
for
I'm
me. You
probably
know what? I
going.
appreciate the time.
No,
I'm
Joe, the
finna
questions is from the
patent.
outset. She talking about something, it's not on the first date. The questions are spread out. Ain't no spread out because if you don't answer the first one right, we're not so that's why you got the questionnaire.
You guys updated for our audience. I know y'all are enjoying this. We are loving the comments. We will keep you updated on the part 2. We have to make sure everyone's schedule is conducive.
Yes.
It may be on a Friday or a Saturday opposed to a Monday. We know that, people have to work the next day, so that might be.
And kids and all that. So we have everybody's information, guys. So we will contact them and find out what their availability is, and then we'll bring them back on so we can finish part 2 because the questionnaire wasn't finished. The ladies didn't agree with the questionnaire. We had a couple people that didn't agree with multiple dating. Then we had others who said it's okay. So we got to bring some continuity to this whole platform. That's the key. She still got questions for you. Yeah. So Joe, you think that's a joke? That's the truth. My wife is a questions out of this world, and I'll be like, baby, really? So this questionnaire thing, maybe, you know what? Maybe the questionnaire thing could be a good thing because once you get to the end of the questionnaire, you don't get any more questions. You're on to something, Marquis. Yes, brother.
That don't exist in a woman's world. You're going to get some questions.
Oh, terrible. All right. Well, you all have a great evening. We love you guys so much. Thank you for joining. Hey, you guys, listen, if you're watching in Facebook land, don't forget to tag and share. Tell your family and friends about the show. It's been awesome. You guys go back and watch it again. We love every last one of you guys. We're going to get out of here, and you all have a blessed night. We had you a little bit longer than we wanted to. We apologize for that. But, hey, it was a great panel. They did a great job. All right. You guys have a great one. And again, until you see us again, Monday night, we're going to be doing this thing again.
Yes, tag and share. All right. Good night, guys.
Y'all have a great night.